All right, everybody. Welcome to our Monday on a Tuesday team training inspiration call. We have had either month end or a holiday, and so we are 2 weeks strong on a Tuesday night team call, but it totally feels like Monday, so it's all good. I feel like my weeks are totally messed up from the last 2 weeks. And I think by next week, we will be on to a normal schedule again. So that is super exciting. Even Sean today thought that it was Monday. So I'm not crazy. I'm not alone. I think you guys probably all feel the same way today too, right? Okay, so we are going to start tonight by talking a little bit about a training that we started today. If you're on Brooke's team, outside of mine, you are doing your group in her page. If you're on my team, we have it in our own page. But we are putting similar trainings on both pages, and it is a 10-day back to school basics training that we are offering you. Today was day 1. If you are not in it yet, no problem. You have not missed too much. You can start right now. So head to any of your threads or the team pages, join the group, and you can get started with us today before you even go to bed tonight. It's something you could do super easily right after we get off the call. It's literally 10 days of live training from myself in my group, Brooke in her group. And in it, we are giving you super, super simple daily tasks to help you grow your business, perfect your skills, get back to the basics, and make an extra $1,000 this month. Now, who would this training be for? Everyone. It's for everyone. But I've found that groups like this, and we don't do them very often. This is the first time we've done one like this in a year, all right? But one thing that I love about these groups is that it oftentimes finds workers that weren't there in your business, right? Maybe it's someone that just loves their products and they've said to you, I think I might want to try the business, but I don't know where to start. You can grab them, do the group with them, and it's going to give them simple, step-by-step, how to go silver, senior silver, gold this month. And what happens when you create silvers, senior silvers, and golds on your team? You rank senior gold. You rank ruby. You rank senior ruby. So it's perfect for anyone, because whether you're just getting started or you're trying to rank up and you have a big goal, it's going to be 10 days with Sunday off of focused, simple training. Brooke, anything to add about that?
Well, I mean, it's going back to some of the things that we just need a reminder of. And like, for example, Emily probably trained on something different than I did in my page today, but today I did a live training on social media. And I just talked about basics of even just like taking a look at your page, seeing what's on your page, maybe having somebody else take a look at your page and just kind of give you some feedback. Like, for example, are you always sharing every video or sharing every meme, or like what's it looking like, and what kind of things do we want to post on social media that will help us to share the message that we want to share and to be able to be more effective. And so it's not about perfection. It's not about doing everything right all the time, but it's just some general teachings, guidelines. Like, these are things that when I strip it back to the basics, or I take it back to the things that helped me and continue to help me grow a business, these are the things. And so we'll talk about things like social media. We'll talk about things like the flow of a conversation, how to get past objections, how to close people, how to transition a conversation from somebody that you have maybe been building a relationship with, or somebody that you've known for a while, or even for a super long time, but you're just not really sure how to ask them about Plexus or ask them if they would watch a video. And so it really is taking it back to those basics. I think it's actually been 2 years since I've done a group like this, and it was time to do it again. And I love, Emily, that you said, like, who is this for? Anybody. Like, it's for anybody, whether they are brand new or they're silver or you're a jewel. It's like, hey, let's strip it back to the basics. Let's get back into simple activity and do the things that work. And when we do that, and we take away all the confusion or all the extra stuff, this is just something that's going to help you to keep moving forward. So I would encourage you to take the next 10 days to really do it. We'll be taking Sunday off this weekend, so I'm not going to have anything really going on in my group on Sunday, but 10 days takes us through the 18th. And if you do all 10 days and you tune into the live training and you do the little IPA stuff, in 10 days, you're going to be so much farther along than if you had just skipped it. Listen, we know there's a lot of trainings out there. We know there's a lot of different things you could be doing. And you could say, oh, I don't have time, or, oh, I don't know, it's just the same thing, or whatever. Like, you could say whatever you want to say, or you could just be like, hey, let me do everything. Let me try it out. Let me just try it on for size. Let me apply the things I'm learning. After 10 days, I have no doubt you'll be farther along. And this is the type of thing that you want your team members to do, or you want your new silver to do, or your person that is brand new, because it's going to teach them those basics that they're wondering about. And the thing is, it can just make your life simpler. Like, it can really just be like, hey, I'm doing this. Do you want to do this with me? Like, I know you said you were interested in sharing. I know you said you wanted to get your products paid for, or you're really interested in going senior silver or gold this month. I'm going to do this for 10 days. Do you want to do it with me? And just grabbing your team members and doing that, and they will come out of it with a lot more skills than before, and just confidence. I mean, we want you guys to have confidence, and we want your new sharers to have confidence that this isn't rocket science. And even what I taught on social media today was not rocket science. Sometimes we just need the reminders of the basic things, and we just need all the other stuff peeled away. So that's what this is. I'm excited about it. I've seen a lot of you guys being active in there, already participating, sharing your wins, commenting, ask questions. Ask a lot of questions. What questions do you have on the topics? I know Emily and I love it when you guys ask questions, and then love it when you guys read the comments, because if somebody asks a question and it's answered in the comments, they've answered your question too. So it really is a good place to ask those questions. And if you have a question, guarantee probably 10 or 15 other people have the same exact question. So questions are good. But that's a little bit about the back to school group. So we would just encourage you guys to also reach out to all of your ambassadors that are loving their products. One of the things that we don't maybe talk about a lot is, when do you ask people? Quite honestly, in the beginning, I would ask everybody. I would ask everybody if they wanted to do Journey 101, or they wanted to do a back to school training. Like, if I knew they were taking the products and they liked the products, I would say, hey, why don't you do this? You'll learn a little bit about sharing. You'll learn a little bit about the products. And like, I would just approach it in a very casual way, and I would just invite people to do it. And every once in a while, I would have somebody say, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And if I hadn't even tried or hadn't even asked them, I never would have gotten that yes. And so I think a lot of times we want to protect our people, or we just like make the decision for them. And I just really feel like all we need to do is ask. Just like we need to ask people, hey, would you watch this video about Plexus? Like, it's the same thing with our existing ambassadors and our existing customers. I always think about Kimberly Hallinan. I don't know if you heard Kimberly. I can't see everybody on the call, but she started out as a customer that ordered Slim, and she's now a Ruby ambassador. And there are people like that in your organization that love their products, that with the right training and encouragement and just an invitation, you might catch them in a weak moment. You might catch them in a moment where they're like, sure. But if you caught them next month, it would be a no. Or you'd ask them the month before and it was a no. And so you got told no once before. And so you're like, I can't ask them again. And I'm here to say, yes, you can. I've asked people multiple times, and sometimes the timing is just right. So this is not just a group for advanced training and for you guys that are already working the business. This is a training for anybody. And I would encourage you, if you're somebody that's sitting around saying, I need people to build business with me, I need people to share. Well, here you go. Just ask them and give them the choice to decide whether or not they want to do it. So that's what I had to say about that.
As you were talking, Janelle was like, I started with Journey 101. And I thought, like, I was literally about to say that, Janelle, is that's how I started. Brooke and I both started in a training just like this. Kara said she as well. And I just remember.
And I only said yes to appease my upline too. I only said yes because I was like, that is so cute. She wants me to do this training. Oh my gosh. I feel so bad. I'm not going to tell her no. Legitimately, that is why I said yes, because I'm a people pleaser. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. This is so cute.
And I just really wanted to make $1,000, and I didn't know how I was going to be able to do that. So I was like, yes, I will be serious. I will do this. I will be 100% in. And then we started doing the training.
I was not.
And I was like, okay, this isn't as hard as they made it sound like it was going to be. I remember thinking that I had to like be a professional to do the training. And then I started doing it. I was like, all I have to do is message 3 people a day. Like, that's it. That's it. And, that seemed really easy at first. And then it got harder over time. But it taught me the basics and the foundations of it. And it gave me the support that I needed to get started. And so that's what this is about, you guys. Like, you got to start somewhere. You might as well start with us here, because it's just a little tiny community. It's in its own group page. It's not on the team page. It's in its own group page. And you can just give it a whirl and see who you can get started with you. And yeah, sometimes we all need a reset. It's like the perfect time of year to do that. Some of your kids have gone back to school. Others are getting into a homeschool routine. Like, it's time, so I just want to encourage you to do that. Now, as you have your goals for this month, first of all, put your goals for September into the chat for us right here, because I know that you guys have been setting your goals. I watched you do it today in the group, if nowhere else. And I love Phyllis said, it gets the creative juices flowing and it's fun to do it together. We are going to do power hours for our team. They have been successful so far, small at first, now growing with new people she's never seen before. I love it. Okay, so some goals I'm seeing in the comments. Angie is going for senior gold. Yanni, senior gold. Ruby, gold. Senior Ruby for Leah, 1,000 points for Janelle. 9 blue level 1s, 3 new silvers, and 1 new ruby. Chanel, gold. Sonia, re-rank emerald. Osiris, senior silver. Yes, I'm so glad you're on the call. Emily Kennedy, 6 personal ads, develop 1 new silver. Leah, 2 new senior golds and 2 golds on my team. Shannon, senior gold. Sonia, and help my people earn leaders retreat. Phyllis, moving the needle towards sapphire, forward movement only. You guys, if you haven't written down your goals yet, make sure to do that tonight. Put it somewhere where you have to look at it every single day, and just anticipate that you're going to have some roadblocks. We are going to hear from Angie tonight, and Angie is somebody who I've seen this month not wasting any time. And the perfect example of this, one of the things that I remember feeling so desperately all the time when I was growing my team to Diamond is that I could never lose a day. It was this sense of urgency that I had, where I was constantly thinking about, I've got to stay on the ball. I've got to keep messaging. I've got to keep up with this because I can't lose a day. I can't lose a week, right? And now that my business is more established, I don't have those same worries. So it's not that you have to be in that mode forever and ever and ever, right? But when you're building and you're trying to hit a rank and you're going for a goal, it's super important to understand this concept of not wanting to lose a day or a weekend or a week. Yet we're still living our lives, right? And things come up and you have things that were planned 6 months ago before you made this goal for this month. And so one of the things that I loved about Angie is Angie had a camping trip planned with her family over Labor Day weekend. And Angie is going for senior gold this month. She's got a big goal. She's got some major mountains to move. And instead of saying, oh, you know, we have this camping trip, like, I'm just going to take the weekend off, she was like, no, I've got big goals and I can't lose a weekend. And I will let her tell you the rest of the story because there were some additional plot twists that she's going to share with you and how she overcame them. So, Angie, where are you at, girl?
Hey, everyone.
Share a little bit about yourself.
Sure.
You work full-time, yep. All the things. Explain about your family. Tell us who you are.
Okay, so my name's Angie, and I work full-time for the world's #1 retailer, and it is a pretty intense job. I usually work about 45 to 60 hours a week minimum, and it's pretty intense, right? So my spare time is usually spent with family and don't have a ton of spare time. I've got a husband and 2 kiddos. I've got a 6-year-old, big first grader this year, and a 3-year-old, almost 4-year-old, but really going on 14, let's be honest, because she's sassy as all get out. And my oldest, my son, he's going into first grade. We are doing virtual school this year because he is super, super high risk for coronavirus. He also happens to have Down syndrome. So with that, with having special needs, he has a lot of extra things, doctor's appointments, 9 therapy sessions a week. Like, it's just a lot on top of regular life. We are blessed in a position that my husband could stay home this year and kind of take a step back in his real estate career to be able to do virtual school. But working from home with the kids has been interesting, to say the least. And so, but I have big goals with Plexus, and one of my really, really, really big scary goals would be to someday, sooner than later, be able to do Plexus full time instead of my job at Walmart. And that's really scary because they treat me really well. So, but the awesome thing is that this weekend, so we decided to go camping. Sorry, I'm a talker.
Can you talk about why you want to make this your full-time job? Can you go into a little bit of that?
Yeah. So for me, I've always wanted to actually be, it's going to make me cry. I actually never thought I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, to be honest. I didn't think it was something that I wanted to do as much as I love my kids. But I think having Brooks and him having those additional needs really put things into a different perspective for me. And this year has been extra hard with doing virtual school and not being the mama to be able to be there to teach him and help him with therapies and be in the know and everything. And so it's been hard for me to kind of take a back seat to that and let my husband drive that. But he has dreams too. And I just want to be able to have the flexible lifestyle that I can sit in on therapy appointments and see where he's at and know what he needs and be able to teach him and know exactly where he's at so that I'm not getting like third-hand information and really giving him all the tools. Like my goal is to get him to be as successful and as independent as he can. And to do that, it's going to take a lot of work, a lot of extra work, not just school, not just therapy, but I mean, all the things. Like, we are constantly like, I mean, you see all the books behind me, right? Like, nobody gets a break. Like, we are working all the time and constantly striving for better. And I don't know. it it's hard to say it out loud. I think but that's a true scary goal, right? Is that it is from here, and it's something that I've wanted for a long time. And I think I always thought like my husband might be the breadwinner and I would get to do those things. And that wasn't the way our story was written. I've been the breadwinner. And so that's a lot of pressure. So if I could do Plexus and be Emerald, Sapphire, Diamond, and be able to have the same income that I have now and even more, and have the flexibility to be with Brooks and be able to be doing his therapy and his school and everything, like that would just be like the perfect thing. I don't know.
You guys, I love, so Angie like had this major breakthrough this week on a Zoom with us where she identified that like, this is what she really wants. And I don't know what, as you're listening to Angie, I don't know how you are relating to her, but I know no matter what your situation is, that you just related to her in some way or another because she's so relatable and so honest and vulnerable. Angie, I love that. So now that they sort of know your backstory, they sort of know why you're showing up after working 12, 16-hour days at your corporate job. Now they know why you're taking extra time at night to message people, to build a team, to go for senior gold this month. So talk a little bit about, you guys are big campers.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every weekend you're camping, but yet you know that your weekends are your free time to really bust it in your business. And I always see you like coming in on the team thread. You're like, just did a post, drinking my pink drink at the campsite. Like you're constantly showing up, checking in, inspiring all of us. But this weekend was a little bit different because it wasn't as easy to do those things. So talk a little bit about that moment where you realized, I can't lose a weekend. What am I going to do? So tell them about that and how you figured out a solution.
Yeah. So we got a camper when we realized we have been in quarantine since March. We had a camper before and we knew it was like our only way to like escape and get out of the house through these times. And it was something that we loved to do and I grew up doing. And so when we bought a camper in, I think it was early April, we booked trips out because pretty much everybody, it seems like, is buying campers. And so it's really hard to find campsites. So when we booked, we were like, okay, well, if this is the only thing we're doing, we're not doing vacation, we're booking trips every 2 to 3 weeks. So we literally have camping trips booked every 2 to 3 weeks. And we booked all of these before I even joined Plexus, before Plexus was even in the picture. I joined Plexus at the end of May. And so we decided to go to the mountains, which I joke about because I grew up in Colorado. So Colorado has real mountains. I live in Arkansas now. Arkansas, like people say mountains and I'm like, haha, you mean hills, right? Like there's not really mountains in Arkansas, but there is a mountain. There's a few. But we decided to go to the highest mountain in Arkansas and see what it was like. I'm thinking high up, we should have view of all the land. There will be cell service, no problem. I was wrong. There are a lot of trees and even though it was a full service campsite and they had all the things, there was barely an ounce maybe of cell service. If I sat in the right spot and turned my phone diagonal 45 degrees out the window and sat just right and held my breath, then I could get a signal. But it wasn't like I couldn't type like this. So I very quickly had to make a plan because I was like, oh my gosh, like I had planned, I want to rank senior gold. I am going to rank senior gold this month. And I was like, this is a long weekend. I cannot give up Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, basically 4 days after working all week. And I just can't do that. And so I just was like, okay, brainstorm. Okay, I'm here to spend time with family, but I also have goals and dreams. And so I decided if I can give it an hour a day of like true power hour, like I'm putting my headphones in, pretend I'm not here, go to town. I took my timer with me. set my timer for 20 minutes. I did 3 20-minute intervals every day and did a power hour. And what I did was I was prepping messages. And then the trick was to convince my husband that we needed to go to town for something. So we needed firewood, we needed ice. Oh, we should buy the kids popsicles. Don't you think the kids need popsicles? And like try to convince him to go to town for a reason so that I could get some service. So what I did is I would spend the hour and I would prep. So I had like buckets that I would do. So I did one of like new ambassadors that, I had asked to make their first post, but they hadn't made their post yet. And so I had like 7 names that I had written down of people that I want to follow back up with about their first post. I had their names written down, what I was going to say to them, even including like the little personalization just to make it specific to them. And then I went through my notebook of momentum movement stuff, and I went through it. And I sat down at the camper with my momentum movement notebook, and I found all my scripts and everything from that, and found like, I just read through it and found like, okay, there was one about healthcare workers. And I was like, oh, I hadn't even thought about that. Like I have tons of healthcare worker friends that I could reach out to. And the post said, or the message said something about like, I really value your opinion to share about the products in these business. Would you give me time to share them with you? I'd love to hear your opinion. And so then I had 8 people written under that. And so then I had all of these plans out and all these messages like pre-written in my notes. I had first check-in with 2 customers, third check-in with 2 other customers. I planned out my personal post. I planned out my professional post for Plexus. I even made a note of like purposeful photos that I wanted to take like with my pink drink. So when we were out hiking, I could be like, okay, I want to take this picture with my pink drink. And then I had my active maid to take a picture with my active, you know, in this pose or whatever at different things. And so I literally had it all mapped out. I just had my notebook and I literally had a check mark of all the things that I wanted to do. And I got busy. And so I just literally had like all the things I was going to do. And I actually went into a second page, and then we got to town and I was like, okay, I got service. Okay. And I was like, copy, paste, copy, send, go take this picture, do this. And I literally just had it knocked out where I could get it done so fast because the work was already done. And so I didn't have to stress about like trying to sit in the camper and hold my phone just at the right angle to get it. I just worked as hard as I could offline to prep what I needed. And then it was go, and it was really fast. And I didn't feel like I was taking time away from my family because I had everything written. I am a perfectionist by nature. I mean, you can see that my color-coded books, like I'm OCD, I can't help it. And I will spend way too long on a post to write to one person. I can spend 20 minutes writing one simple text message. I know that about myself. So I knew if I prepped ahead of time and had message to Jennifer, message to Melissa, message to Aaron, message to whoever, lined out, copy, paste, and boom, it was done. And honestly, you guys, I loved this format for me because I will sit there and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to post on Facebook. Oh, look, there's somebody there, you know, and you get sucked into social media. For me, this was almost better because it forced me to be offline and it forced me to focus on what my goal was. And I had my timer that was beeping at me if I didn't get it done, right? And it just really gave me intentional time to work so that then I could be more productive once we were in town and had messages. So, yeah, that was basically it. I'm trying to think if I missed anything. Personal messages, I did 20-minute timers to focus. I just bucketed out who I wanted to contact, right? So I had my bucket of new ambassador check-in. I had my bucket of new ambassadors that I wanted to ask them to refer or share their first post. I had my healthcare bucket. I had a follow-up to my neighbor who lost 5 pounds her first month and then quit because she wanted to have a housekeeper instead. And Emily helped me craft a beautiful message to her. And she responded like, okay, I'm ready to share. Like, let's do this, right? So it was just intentional focus of people's names that I had written down. And that was the key, I think, for me too. I don't know if you guys can see, but I literally had people's names written down. And that really helped. So yeah, Brooke, go ahead.
You're muted, Brooke. You gotta unmute. Sorry.
Sorry. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Angie, I love this. And I just want to share with you why there's so much wisdom in this. So the month that Sonia went emeralds, I remember one night sitting down and looking at her less than 100 PV and looking at, people that had recently joined and just hadn't reordered. It was too late at night for me to message those people, but I full well knew I have 6 children at home. I have 6 kids at home with me every single day of the week. They never go anywhere else. They're homeschooled. So I knew myself, and I knew if I waited until the morning, I would never have an hour and a half to be thoughtful and craft up those messages. And so I sat down, pulled open the notes on my computer, which syncs up to my phone. I typed up every exact message. I typed up what they were ordering that was 75 PV. And I typed up a very thoughtful message that the next day, the other thing I did is I put what they ordered, I put their phone number, and I put the message that was for them. So the next day, I literally opened up my notes, I copied and pasted their phone number, then I copied and pasted the message, and I sent it off. And I was able to get through, I don't know, Sonia, maybe that was 50 texts or 60 texts or something. It was just realizing, listen, I have a problem here, and my children are not an inconvenience. So I can either do this while my children rest so that I can send it out quickly in the morning and I can get back to being mom or doing the other things. And so where one person sees an obstacle, another person sees a way around that obstacle and sees a solution. And that's what Angie did. She's like, well, I love my family. I want to spend time with my family, but I'm also here saying, I want to be able to stay home and help my special needs son and do the homeschooling. And so I can either feel bad for myself that I don't have time to do this, or I can come up with a solution to do it. And I just love that. I had to share that. Listen, I've done similar things as a diamond, as a gold ambassador. This is pre-planning. This is preparing so that there isn't an excuse to do it. You still get it done. You just have to be more creative with how you do it. And I love this idea of pre-writing messages. Julia, where's Julia? Didn't we do this the month you went emerald? On a Saturday, we were on the phone for 5 hours writing up messages, and she has them all saved in her phone. And for some people, they were on the East Coast. She's like, okay, I can't send this right now. I'm like, yeah, you can't send it right now. It's too late on the East Coast, but you have it written up. And tomorrow morning when you wake up, fire it off, fire it off, fire it off, fire it off. You could do this with anything. Okay, Angie, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's great. I was really done with my story, Brooke. So that is perfect. I love that. And I think I found through no Wi-Fi and no cell service, I think I found actually the system that works for me. I was way more productive in this 3-day weekend than I probably have been in the last 2 weeks even. I knew what I had, and I'm a visual person too. So writing it down this way of which buckets with their names, and then I can use my fun little pens that I have and mark them off and check them off. And it was really good. I'm excited. Thanks for letting me share.
I just love it so much, Angie. And I really do. I feel like sometimes we find our groove when we are up against our biggest challenges. And so I just absolutely love, you've inspired me. I know you've inspired everybody on this call, and hopefully they can see that anything is possible if you want it badly enough, right? That's what she did. She wants it badly enough that she's not going to use anything, not even no internet, as an excuse, right? And I was laughing so hard when you were like, the kids need popsicles. I think we need to go into town, because I would have done the exact same thing. But Sean would have been like, I know what you're doing.
Yeah. No, Josh definitely figured it out, yes. But he was also like, you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yep. It's like you're like a veteran diamond already. Okay, so just know you don't have to change anything. Just keep doing what you're doing and you will be diamond, because that is the type of effort that you have to give consistently to show up for your team. Right now, you're doing all of this to get a team going. But a year from now, you'll have this large team with other people that are trying to get their businesses going, and you will be pre-planning your check-ins with your team, because you'll be thinking like, oh my gosh, I know Heather is gonna go gold this month, and I can't lose a weekend helping her to get her butt moving to make sure she hits her goals this month, right? And so while the work that you do is going to look different a year from now, you're still going to be using these pre-planning skills to help move your leaders along in their business. So I just absolutely love it. And I was so motivated by you all weekend. I was like, oh my gosh, if Angie can get her work done like this, I can totally have no excuse about getting my stuff done. So thank you so much for sharing. Just love your attitude, love your work ethic, and I can't wait to see you go senior gold this month. And I know Ruby is going to be right around the corner for you, because you're already thinking ahead, right? Ruby, next month, we're already thinking ahead. We're pre-planning that. So awesome. Okay, Brooke, anything else you want to add before we close our call tonight?
Yeah, I just want to take a second to let you guys shout yourselves out. We have so many people here on this call that have earned Leaders Retreat. And so if you have earned Leaders Retreat, I want you to shake your hands around or drop a comment below. Tell us if you've earned Leaders Retreat. We want to see your hands up. Shannon, Janelle, Phyllis, Angie, Leah, Sonia's here. I know she's earned it. Julia, Bobby, gosh, some of you have your cameras off.
Shay,
I can't see you guys.
Just turn her camera on and it's going like this.
Awesome. Shay has earned it. Julia, Mikkel is raising her hand. So many of you guys, probably at least 20 of you here on this call have already earned Leaders Retreat. And I know at least another 20 of you on this call are over halfway there. And so I just want to remind you how, if you intentionally focused on achieving 2 things this month, how you would earn another 450 credits for Leaders Retreat. So how many of you guys are sitting around 300, 350 credits? Probably a lot of you. Or do you know where your team members are sitting? Do you have team members that are sitting at 300 to 350 credits? Anybody have team members like that? You probably do. And so to earn 450 credits, it actually kind of blows my mind. So if you're sitting at 350 and you want to get to 800, in order to get those 800 credits, you would need to sponsor 6 level 1 ambassadors, 6, write it down, and develop 2 new silvers, or develop 2 people to any new rank. So maybe you had a silver level 1 that goes senior silver, or a senior silver that goes gold, or a gold that goes senior gold, whatever that might be. But literally developing 2 level 1s to any rank and sponsoring 6 level 1s gives you 450 points. So tonight, I want to challenge you guys to use all of the systems and all of the resources from the Momentum Movement training that we just did, especially webinar number 2 on how do I get people to share the frog system? How do I get people to sign up 1 person, to sign up 2 people, to sign up 3 people, to listen to that, apply it, and write it down right now, guys. Your goal is to sponsor 6 and develop 2 people. If you do nothing but focus on that and teach your team members, let's focus on this, you're going to pre-plan those reach outs or do those reach outs every single day. You're going to invite every single person that joins you to grab a friend to do it with them, not thinking about making that person a business builder, but simply thinking about getting them an accountability partner, just one. And once they get that one person and experience that success of how fulfilling it was to help somebody that was excited to get started on the products, they're going to be more likely to share with a second and a third person, especially when they know if they get 2 more people, they get $300. So it starts with the teeny tiny steps. And sponsoring 6 and developing 2 might seem mind-blowing to you because maybe you've never done it before. But a couple months ago, I had a month where I sponsored 10 and I had 4 new silvers, almost 5 years into the business, because I wrote it down and I said I was going to do it. And I saw that every single day and I was like, whoa, crap. I wrote it down and I said I was going to do it. So crap, I got to do it. And sometimes we just don't hold our feet to the fire at all. And we're like, oh, something else came up, or, oh, this happened with my kids, or this happened at home, or that, whatever. Like, there's always going to be something that comes up. But I want to push you guys and challenge you guys because I know you have it in you. I know you have 6 in you and 2 silvers. And I know if every single one of you guys did this here on this call, every single one of you would earn Leaders Retreat before the end of the month. And so many of you guys would be at the $200 cash or the VIP or the $600 cash. And so I don't want you to forget about that. This is a really important thing to earn. This is a really incredible honor. This is my favorite event of the year. This is like so much fun if you are new to Plexus, and they're basically just giving away cash. So, I mean, I would be working for it because why not, right? So that is my challenge to you, is write it down. I will sponsor 6 new ambassadors. I will find 2 people to develop somewhere, somehow, because I will make it my system to invite everybody to add just one and to have one person start with them. If all 6 of your people added one, I bet you anything 2 of those 6 would go on to add another 2 and you'd have your silvers. So that's my challenge.
Love it. You guys, if you've already earned Leaders Retreat, did you know you're on track to win the shopping spree? You might as well put the pedal to the metal and go for it. Who knows? Maybe the next person you sign up will want to earn Leaders Retreat, and that could help you earn the shopping spree. So don't write anything off because the sky is the limit, you guys. Let's get to work. 10-day back to school basics challenge is there to hit that reset button for you. Grab your team, grab your leaders, do the work with them. Get your 6, 2 rank ups with it, and you are just gonna go straight to the top of your goals this month, and I can't wait to see it. All right, guys, we'll catch you at work on Facebook and Instagram. Bye, guys. Thank you, Angie.